Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the channel. We're getting very Australian. We've always got very Australian on this channel, and we stick to that with Jordan Laruccia joining us, Australian super welterweight, joining us from Perth, Australia. How are you, man? How are you getting on?
Good, man. How are you? Thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome. I'm delighted to have you on. So you've got a big fight coming up. Your first headliner. You take on Fano
Yes, yeah.
Kori in an 8-round fight for the Australasian. Oh no, Australian, not Australasian. Australian National Boxing Federation Australasian super welterweight title. So basically the Australian title. You take on Fano Kori.
Yeah.
Tell me about this fight, man. This is big.
Yeah, man. Look, it's a fight that I, to be honest, didn't probably be expected to be fighting this early on in my career for, but the opportunity came about. Got to thank Tony Tolge for everything he does. But the opportunity came about, and they're calling it a civil war because we're both Perth boys. So we're both out of the same city. So it's going to be a good fight. I'm excited to be headlining, to actually be fighting someone that has a lot more experience than what I do. So it'll be fun. It'll be great.
Yeah, big step up. Very exciting. And the headliner on the Thunderdome boxing series, which is a great show down in Australia done by Tony. It'll be on Fight TV. There's a couple of for people watching, there's a couple of the fights on this channel, so you can go and check them out. I'll put one of yours up as well, Jordan. But yeah, why such a big step up so quickly?
Oh, look, we just Tony, he keeps a very close eye on our progress, going through the ranks and all that sort of stuff. So we just think that it's the right timing for me, I guess. I've had my last two fights that I've had were both against international opponents. They were both good on paper, but unfortunately, when it came to the fight, well, not unfortunate, I did my job, but when it came to the fight, both of them ended under 30 seconds of the first round. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah, we're just looking to step up, and yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah. A lot of a good thing for obviously the record and stuff. But if you look at it from getting the rounds in and all that in an actual boxing perspective, it's sort of but look, it's one of those things where we're just gonna work on, and this step up is what we really need to sort of catapult me further in the welterweight division in Australia and in the world rankings as well.
Yeah, so I've been interviewing all you guys from over by Perth, and I can tell you're with Tony and you're around those guys because you're unhappy about not getting enough work in, and you're eager to test yourself and jump into the hardest fights ever. It looks like you've taken on that sort of philosophy, which I've fallen in love with that camp with down there. That you'll sort of you really want to test yourself. You don't want to fight tin cans.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, look, like everyone wants to be in the fight game for a long time, but at the end of the day, you really want to test your abilities and test where you're at as a fighter, So the only way to do that is to fight the best people going around at the moment. So that's what we sort of aim to do, and obviously not be silly about it, like do it in the right time, but if you're showing promise and you're showing that you're stepping up to the plate and you're training hard, then there shouldn't be a reason why you shouldn't be going for these fights.
Yeah. Well, great. You've been doing really well. Back-to-back knockouts. So obviously they want to step you up a bit. You've been finding those guys a bit easy.
Yeah.
Who's this? Obviously, you're a bit away from Tim Tszyu, but that division, that 154-pound division, is pretty healthy down in Australia. Yeah. The looks of things.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of competition. It's a pretty active weight division. So as you said, a bit far away from Tim Tszyu. Obviously, he's he's that next level, which it's hopefully one day I'll get to that level, but baby steps from there. So we'll just take it easy and yeah, just work our way up the ranks.
Yeah. So, am I right in thinking that this fight's actually even bigger than just the title? This could lead on to more promotional deals and things like that, and that's sort of like taking you on that
Yeah,
ring of your career. So this is massive. This is massive. There's
yeah,
more than just this
definitely.
fighter stake.
Yeah, definitely. Like this year, so I've obviously spoken with Tony and we've discussed it all and stuff. And the plan is after this fight is obviously to like I love fighting on Thunderdome. Obviously, I've made 6 appearances on it so far. You know, it's always going to feel like home to me in terms of for fighting. But yeah, like the next step will probably be going over east, and over east opens up a lot of doors. So looking at like Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, you know, the no limit shows and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff, or getting on if there's any top rank fights. There's, you know, after Devin Haney being here and all that sort of stuff. Getting on the undercards of those would be fantastic. So it's just, yeah. So this is the sort of the last step for me in Perth to sort of get this win and solidify myself as a contender, like a proper contender. And then obviously when we go over east, yeah, it just opens up all the doors for a lot more opportunity.
Yeah, you're talking about those big, yeah, flying. It looks like it's flying over there, boxing. So yeah, you'll be moving on to hopefully
Yeah,
6-0, 4 KOs after the fight on
yeah, hopefully.
one. That would be the most perfect thing. But yeah, what
Yeah,
you talking about Australia there? Very, very important, very interesting. Obviously some of Tony's fighters, Jason Maloney, world champion, Andrew Maloney, those guys, Tim
yeah,
Tszyu, Cambosis, they're having big fights over the other side of the country, aren't they? And big fights with big stadiums where they're on all the TV
yeah,
channels all
yeah,
over the
massive.
world. Devin Haney's turning up. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
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 you're in a nice. It seems like young Australian fighters are quite a bit emboldened at the moment, quite happy, quite excited about the future of boxing because Matchroom are down there as well now. Well, they keep saying they are. I don't know if they are or not. But yeah,
yeah,
it looks good regardless. It's Lou DiBella,
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
is turning up.
I definitely think over the past 2 years or so, you know, with having Cambosis being the unified champion for the time that he was, you have both Maloney brothers, both were fighting fought for world titles. Jason won. So you know, like it definitely is an exciting era for Australian boxers to you know have a lot of opportunities and actually get looked at on a more serious like more seriously, really, to be honest, because most people probably would have just passed, you know, gone, oh yeah, whatever, you know, Australia on to the next. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's fantastic for us and gives us a lot of motivation as well to be better, to train harder, to be ready for when these shows do come, that you could get the call up to be on an undercard. So yeah, it is great.
Great fighters always come out of Australia. Always great boxing history.
Yeah.
Let's move on to you a bit more personable. Used to
Yeah.
do a bit of footy. Used to Goalkeeper. Am I right in thinking that?
Yes.
Goalkeeper, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah. Yeah.
you were going to be the next Gianluca Buffon. You were over at
Oh,
Juventus. I don't know too much about it, but Tony was telling me
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Tony's making a big deal about it. Yeah, tell me
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
previous football career.
Yeah. So I played for a couple of clubs down under in the National Premier League, just in Perth. So I was playing all through my teens, and then I got scouted to go on a tour with a group of other Australian boys as well that were scouted and selected to go trial over in Italy. So Juve was one of the big names that I did trial for. There were a couple of other teams, Frosinone, which is just
Oh,
outside of Rome, and
yeah.
a couple of other scouts as well that were taking a look at us in Rome. Unfortunately, I was unsuccessful. Obviously, this is why I'm sitting in my bedroom right now, boxing as well, which I'm happy about anyhow. But definitely, yeah, it was a great experience because it helped shape. It taught me a lot about discipline. Shape the person I am today. Also helped me with my how an athlete should behave and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, so it definitely gave me the right path. Just I'm not playing football, boxing. So yeah. So it was fantastic. But I wouldn't change anything that's happened.
Yeah. So how long were you in Italy for? Did you?
It was no, it was about we went for like two weeks. It was
Oh,
2 weeks. Yeah, it wasn't.
Do you
Yeah.
speak
But
Italian? You got an Italian name?
um,
Yeah.
yeah. So both my parents are Italian. So from mum's from Sicily and dad's from Puglia. So both Southerners. I don't speak Italian. I understand it. That's because they both speak dialect. So it's actually not proper Italian. So they didn't teach me, which I'm actually absolutely howling about. But yeah, so but I understand it. So it's okay. Yeah.
So they're Italian. They're obviously big boxing history as well, and football is
Yeah.
So yeah, they must have been. So what were your parents thinking when you left football and started boxing?
There was a bit of a like a time where I was doing nothing. So
Oh,
I
okay.
quit. Yeah, so I quit football at about I just turned 18. And I'd come back to Australia and I'd seen, the difference in skill level over there to what it was here. And then I was playing for like a division one team, and we had a big game against an A League team, and I had a terrific performance. And I was thinking in my head, like, if I don't get scouted or I don't get picked up after this game, then that's it. I'm gonna hang up the gloves. So yeah, it turned out nothing eventuated after that game. So yeah, I sort of just was like, look, I feel like I've exhausted all my options. Like, you generally want to be scouted or be picked up by a team when you're about 16, 15, so that they can develop you and stuff like that. So I was getting to the point where I was like, okay, well, no one's going to really take me on now. So yeah, sort of just started going to the gym and doing as any other typical 18-year-old was doing, going out, partying, drinking, all that sort of stuff. And then found myself going down not a bad path, but, a path where I wasn't amounting
Boys will
to
be
anything.
boys, won't they? Yeah.
Yeah, boys will be boys, and getting into the occasional scrap and stuff like that. Out on a night out and all that, and then yeah, and then one day, one of my old employers said, "Oh, I know a guy who owns a boxing gym. I think it'll be really good for you." I was not aggressive, but just an angry 18-year-old, full of testosterone. Actually, no. So I wasn't even 18 then. I would have been 20. Oh, how old was I? 24 now. I was 20 at the time. So this is 2 years on from football.
Age, yeah.
And then yeah, so he goes, "Oh, look, I've got a good mate of mine. He's opening up a boxing gym in Malaga. He needs a hand with everything and this and that." So, and then that's where Big Rig, I call him Pops, Dale Phillips, he's my coach.
Yeah.
So that's how him and I came to meet, and I started off as a cleaner. So
No way.
so just yeah. So I was the cleaner at the gym. I would mop up all the blood and clean the bags, hang the bags, maintenance, stuff like that. And then occasionally when the sparring partners wouldn't show up for sparring, Rig would be like, "All right, Jordan, put your gloves on, jump in." So it was a bit of a punching bag. So that's how it all started out. So it was a bit of a punching bag when I first started out. Obviously, I wasn't.
You look nice. You haven't got
talented.
like a flat nose or anything. Your face looks pretty good.
Trust me, man. I got a couple scars and stuff like that from.
But yeah, not too bad.
Yeah,
too bad. Yeah,
but not too bad. Not too bad. But yeah. So So that's how I sort of got into boxing. Then I went and helped out at one of the Thunderdome shows. I met Tony as well. His office is just upstairs from the gym. So I helped out on one of the Thunderdome shows. I was helping hand out the gloves to the boxers before they get
Wow.
laced up and stuff and
Got
signed
any of
off.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was sitting ringside and I was watching the guys fight and I was like, damn, I think I could maybe do this, you know, like I reckon I could give this a go. And then yeah, sort of just took off from there and here I am now.
Wow, what a great story, man. That's amazing. Fascinating
Yeah,
stuff. Fascinating stuff.
yeah.
So how old are you now? How old are you now? 20?
24 now.
24. Good age to be 24 again.
Yeah.
So yeah, exciting times. We've caught you yeah, a real sort of crossroads in your career in a good way, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
did you
Yeah,
did
yeah,
you
yeah.
enjoy boxing as a child? Did you watch boxing growing up? Did dad
I
have it on
didn't
in the
really. So
background?
I look. So no, no. My dad, being well, although he's Italian heritage, he was always about AFL, so
Really?
Australian football.
Yeah.
So
Tough
yeah,
game.
yeah. So he watched a bit of soccer when the World Cup was on. He'd sorry, football, but we call it soccer because that's the. But yeah, so he watched a bit of it. You know, the World Cup was on, he would watch it and whatnot, but he wasn't a diehard follower of it, and he didn't really watch boxing unless it was the Olympics.
Yeah, yeah.
So he would watch a little bit. So we'd sit down and watch it together. But always grew up, obviously being Italian, watching Rocky. You know, so all the Rockies were a family favorite in the
Brilliant.
house. And I did do a little bit of boxing when I was younger, but that was just for like preseason fitness and whatnot. Um, I was, yeah, as I said, I wasn't overly talented when I first started boxing. It was just as soon as I made the decision to move into boxing and start actually training properly and all that sort of stuff, I carried a lot of what I learned from soccer. So a lot of the footwork and all that sort of stuff as a goalkeeper is actually quite not
Yeah.
the same, but quite similar to boxers, how they have to move and how you have to step.
Oh,
So I carried a bit of that reflexes as well, obviously from being a goalkeeper. I had a little bit of that as well. So yeah, I was talented in the sense of the athletic side of things, but not in terms of actually, you know, being able to punch and my actual boxing ability itself. So yeah, that's how it went pretty
it
much.
looks it looks like you picked it up pretty quick, mate. It looks like you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been a lot of hard work, man. Like, you know, we had COVID and stuff like that, and you know, there was what 2 years almost that no one was fighting, no, which was great because it gave me a really good opportunity to work on a lot of things and spar a lot of people that you know were levels above me, and they were like, yeah, stuff it, like, I'll spar you, you know, why not? And I learned quickly from sparring really good quality people and just getting, you know, absolutely
So you've got
belted by
no
them. But
amateur experience. You just
nah,
clean in
nah.
the gym. This guy, this weird guy at the gym, just said jump in, and then here we are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they do it, man. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's
Brilliant.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, what a great story. I'm just thinking about the you're a goalkeeper and finding it hard to, you know, it's hard in that's an industry, man. People think boxing
Yeah.
is like a grain of sand compared to football when you look at the whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, when you're a goalkeeper, if you're on the bench, you're on the bench forever, aren't you? You're not you ain't
Yeah. Yeah.
doing a 20-minute run out to show people what you can do. If you can't show people what you can do, it's hard to sometimes even show your own teammates how good you are if you're struggling to
Yeah.
in that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, pretty much like with football, like it's yeah, it was always hard because yeah, you're right. As a goalkeeper, unless you're the starting pick and unless you're the number you got that number one on your jersey, you're not going to get looked at. So but this is where I adopted that that train hard in training because that's the only time where they would be able to see you. So when I would train on the during the week, so like we would train 3 days a week. I think it was Tuesday. From memory, it was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Play Saturday. So those days, I remember on I would be, there was plenty of clubs where I was on the bench for, and I would literally just sit there for 90 minutes every Saturday and do absolutely nothing, which was disappointing, you know. But that time that was on the pitch while we were training, I would train my absolute ass off, and that's what I adopted from football, and what I brought into my boxing was that training 100%, showing 100% what you've got, and what you can do, because then you never know what opportunities may come about from it. And eventually, yeah, I ended up playing on the pitch, and I got that number one spot at a couple of clubs. Some other clubs were a bit political, so obviously,
Oh, really?
you know,
Oh, no.
yeah, it can be a bit like that, but that's another that's in the past. But
Part
yeah,
two.
so
Go into that, yeah.
yeah. So like, you know, but that's where I adopted that whole mindset that, you know, you train hard, you know, just for yourself, and train hard and show people what you can do, and eventually good things will come from that. So, and I've still got that same mindset from the football days.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant, man. Finally, my friend, describe to those watching who don't know what, you know, haven't seen you fight, what sort of fighter are you? What sort of style have you got? What can they expect to see on the 1st of September?
Oh, that's a hard question.
Look, yeah.
We have a game plan for this fight. I'm not going to say too much about what we've got planned to do. But I like to say that I'm a pretty forward fighter. I like to come forward a lot. I don't really like to take steps back. Early on my career, maybe I had an exhibition fight. I was a lot more of a back foot fighter. So I like to control the ring a lot. So the center of the ring. So yeah, look, to be honest, Fano, all due respect to him, you know, he's a local boy as well. But there's going to be a war on September 1st. That's for sure. We're both not going to lay down. That's for sure. Yeah.
So it's unlikely this one goes the distance. You're gonna, both of you
yeah.
guys are going to knock each other out by the sounds of things, yeah.
yeah. Look, yeah, look. That's the aim of the game, but we're both gonna be going hard. That's for sure.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. I'm very happy to hear that. I'm sure boxing fans are as well. Jordan, I've really enjoyed this chat. What a good natter we've had.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, all the best on September 1st. Those listening, there's going to be a link to Jordan's upcoming show. We're going to stick one of your fights up on the channel as well, so people can admire your boxing skills. And yeah, that's all from us, man. Just all the best next month.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you having me on here.